Let's go from one side of Pennsylvania Avenue to the other and bring in Democratic Senator from California, Senator Barbara Boxer. Senator, it was great seeing you last night. Ann Edelberg sends her best. Talk about the president's speech. What was your reaction?
Well, before the speech, I was asked what I expected and what I wanted. And what I wanted to see was an honest assessment of where we are. And then I wanted to see this president lay out a way for us to get out of this, a way to bring hope to the hearts of America. And I believe he did it. I've seen every single State of the Union speech since Ronald Reagan. This was one of the best.
Senator, there are some saying maybe perhaps he could have provided more detail, even some of the headlines saying, hope he's right. Did he provide enough detail, or was it just a matter of restoring confidence that really needed to be accomplished last night?
Well, trust me, if he had laid out the details of everything he talked about, education, energy, health care, Iraq, and so on, people would have said, oh, my God, he just was so boring. He laid out all the details. So I think there's time for that. What we needed here was a framework. You know, there's an ebb and a flow to a presidency. You have your chance at the inaugural, and then you have your chance when you address members of Congress. And as you go forward, I think you get more and more detailed. Now he's going to have his budget, and in his budget, he's going to be quite detailed. So, no, I think it was the right tone as far as, you know, the inspiring ideas and a few examples of what he meant.
Of course, the Republican response by Bobby Jindal, I don't know if we have the soundbite that I could roll for her, but he basically said that the stimulus, oh, we have it. Let's listen to Governor Bobby Jindal talking about transparency. Take a listen.
We need to bring transparency to Washington, D.C., so we can rid our capital of corruption and ensure that we never see the passage of another $1 trillion spending bill that Congress hasn't even read and the American people haven't even seen.
And that criticism, I mean, this plan was rushed through. There are those who say they didn't even have time to read it. I think that criticism is fair. What did you make of the Republican response? And also, he's one of those governors who are not accepting all the money because they believe it actually hurts them rather than helps them.
I'm really sorry for the people of Louisiana. I've been there several times since Katrina. People are suffering from this recession. What a tragedy it would be, because some politician wants to make a point that he says to someone who's unemployed, sorry, we're just going to say we're going to give the money to another governor somewhere else. By the way, other Republican governors who feel that it is time to help their people. But, Mickey, you and I have kind of gotten into this when I was on the last time and I supported the stimulus, and you said throwing money at the problem doesn't help. Look, I'm an old economics major, and one of the things we learned way back when is that when you want to stimulate the economy, you make investments in the economy. That's what a stimulus is. And the Republicans are turning into the party of nope. Nope this, nope that. What is their answer? By the way, they had a stimulus. It was all tax cuts to the very wealthy again. So it's disingenuous to say they didn't want to spend money. John McCain had the alternative. It was 90% tax cuts to the wealthiest. So the point is, we want to do something that works, and that means investing in jobs, jobs, jobs. That's what we did, and tax cuts to the working people of this country. So that was basically the stimulus. And, you know, we could argue about it, but we did it. And I think it's going to begin to show its merit, and we'll be able to have this conversation, because I think we are going to see people building bridges and roads and the rest.
It's very clear. I mean, the Democrats put through the plan that they wanted. Throwing money at problems, I think some of the things in the plan, you could argue didn't necessarily need to be in there, but I guess that's what happens in times like this. But I also worry that we're kind of becoming a bailout economy, and we're going to lose kind of that careful balance that our country is built on between success and failure, and then thriving in between the two.
You sound very ideological this morning, if I might say. What we did in the stimulus bill is put together an approach where we invest in our people, invest in our infrastructure, where we also say to those who are the long-term unemployed, we're going to give you a little more help, so yes, you can feed your family, and have a few more dollars in your pocket. And then we did tax cuts to the working people. That was what we did. And I don't think that's throwing money at a problem. I don't think so at all. I think it was a very important plan of this president's, and it was the first step in this economic recovery, and I feel a lot better about it than you do, and we will see who's right and who's wrong.
Well, I don't have feelings about it. I have questions about it. But, Senator, I so appreciate your coming on and answering them for me. Thanks very much for coming on the show.